Sharing tongues.
Sounds so wrong.
I was like, it's so quiet.
So
Let's not let our mind go to these places. This is Warrior Cats, which is technically a children's book series, so let's keep our mind out of the gutter, shall we?
I can't. Sorry. This is a great start. Anyhow, I am Brokenwings, also known as Sive, also known as Aura Wolfie-Wind, also known as Mozart 1997.
Alright, I'm Stagface. I don't know why I went. I don't think it was my turn. Anyways, I'm Stagface / Wendigo / St. Ghosties, and that's all of my aliases.
I'm Ravenheart, known on YouTube as Bloody Ravenheart 13, Petal Rain on DeviantArt, and that's just about it, but for now, while we're just doing sharing tongues, just refer to me as Ravenheart or Raven, whatever you prefer.
Well, I'm Sunny / Swingtastic / Swingtastic World. Don't look for my YouTube. Don't even. There's like nothing there. Just go on my Tumblr. It'll be good. And you guys can just call me Sunny. I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right.
So yeah, I'm Alli. I've gone by pretty much the same alias on the internet my whole life. There's AlliKatN. Yeah, gotta get that weeaboo wonderful ending in there. Now I'm kind of AlliKatN, just so I don't have to say "nya" when I'm introducing myself. But yeah, I don't know. I did a lot of Warrior Cats animation really early on in the fandom, I guess. It was like first time I animated Warriors was 2004, 2005. And yeah, the first video I posted to YouTube was in 2006, which I think is the year YouTube came out, if I recall correctly, or after. It's
like
long been removed from.
You're saying you got into Warrior Cats in 2004?
Yeah, 2003, 2004.
Okay, because Into the Wild came out in 2003.
2003. Yeah,
so you've been in here from the start.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I think you created the fandom.
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm gonna say this, like, I started maybe reading 6th grade probably about 2009, 2010, which is about when the third series, the newest book was probably The Sunrise one came out, and after that it was hard for me to wait for books, so I commend you greatly for waiting for just about every single book to come out one by one.
Yeah, no, really,
I commend you greatly.
That's crazy.
It was actually really, really intense because I mean I was so into it. It was like the only book series I really, really liked, and just having to wait like that 2 months between every book was just like, oh, I just want it now.
Was it really only 2 months between books?
Yeah, it was something like that. They all first art came out in 1 year. It only took a year for all 6 books. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm assuming they wrote them all at the same time and then staggered it, but I'm not sure. But I was thrilled. I actually managed to get my hands on a pre-reading copy of The Darkest Hour before it came out, like 3 or 4 months before it came out. And so I was sworn to not leak it onto the internet what happened, but that was one of my proudest moments in the early fandom for sure.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know if you guys know, but I've only recently actually, like, I stopped with Power of 3, really. Like, I stopped after the site when I was initially into the book series, and just recently I started tracking them down like book by book at thrift shops and stuff, and I'm currently getting to where StarClan starts to be kind of more of an annoying, like, interfering presence. Like, I swear that there was a quote in the first arc where Bluestar said something like, StarClan has no power over you.
She did say
She
said that they have no power basically in the physical world.
And like that's a concrete statement. That's not like an ambiguous thing at all. That's
however,
like,
Bluestar.
Yeah, and then they threw it out the window.
Bluestar then
have
went to
actual
StarClan.
cats in the ground with other. It got way too crazy.
I think what annoyed me is how they never actually explained that. Like, maybe if they tried to explain it, I would have been much more fine with it. But the fact it's like, oh no, this round gonna be able to come and fight now, like, what?
it doesn't make
I've got one big question.
And they die when they're in StarClan? Like,
No. I mean, okay, so get this. Okay. So what would happen if you were a person walking down and you suddenly come across all these cats just running around, and you expect us to kind of realize that they're fighting against these dead evil cats with these dead starry cats?
What?
Honestly, that's what confuses
I think I
me
would
the
assume
most.
You're just walking around.
Are they there? Are they?
Yeah,
Camping and you just see cats rolling around fighting.
Yeah. No, I must say though there was Oh God, I've forgotten what I was going to say.
It's so silly. Like, I don't know. It's just
Also,
I like the weird ambiguous cat religion thing. Like, that works. StarClan works that way.
No, what I love is everyone who's been working on this podcast is probably sick to death of me saying this. StarClan versus the Tribe of Endless Hunting.
Yeah.
So interesting. Because
I honestly
if you
prefer
look,
the Tribe of Endless Hunting after the Power of 3 thing started.
here's the thing though, okay? Tribe of Endless Hunting, if you look at the part in, I've forgotten what book it is, and I can't see it on the shelf. The second New Prophecy book.
Mhm.
Okay, the telling with the Tribe of Endless Hunting, it reads like a Catholic church service. No, I am Irish. I've seen Catholic church services.
I see.
No, but actually, I will just get up from where I'm standing. I will get the book because it is the whole leader intones certain words, a congregation responds. Whereas with the clans, the StarClan is much more kind of intimate affair. It's that you have these specific, almost like shamans, really. You know, they go off, they commune, they come back, and they interpret.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah,
a
the
much
whole
more
thing's-
public affair. Sorry,
It's
I'll
very
fight.
tribal. It's funny that the clan cats are more tribal than the tribe. It's kind of true though. But I don't really remember much about the Tribe of Endless
Yeah.
Hunting.
I've
so
actually found the quote because that was fast. Okay,
that was fast.
yes. So it is time for a telling. We call on the Tribe of Endless Hunting to show us their will. Show us your will. The other tribe cats responded in
Oh
chorus.
my god.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
literally. It is.
Have you ever
That's
seen-
cultish.
Have you ever seen Feliday? There's this
Yes,
whole
you know,
scene.
yes.
It's a
it is-
really good movie,
I
honestly.
love that
I love
movie.
Feliday. Can I
I
say
just posted
movie?
about Feliday yesterday.
Yeah, there's this whole scene where like these for listeners, anyways. There's this whole scene where they're all the main character kind of sees this weird church thing going on, and these cats are sacrificing
It's like a
themselves.
cult.
Does
It's a
anybody
messed
want
up
me to
little
get
Yeah.
Feliday?
honest to
Like,
God.
I can fetch Feliday as well if you want.
Oh, you have
people
the
actually.
Well, I
You-
have
you-
I have an iPod. I have an iPod with the Kindle app. So yeah,
Ah,
I will find it. I will find it, and I will Because all you have to do is search Claude Andus, and it'll come up. So
I didn't
Alright.
even know it was translated into English. I assumed it was just German.
no,
Yeah.
the first 3 books are translated.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
the first three.
I'll admit though, it's not really worth your while. Just read the first one and enjoy it. The
Yeah.
rest of it's just.
Yeah.
And I think the third one is Francis Goes to Rome.
Oh
What?
boy.
That's
No,
like,
but going back to the term of how ambiguous it is, that was one of the best aspects of the book, to be honest. Like, they had this little religion, but it was like an actual religion that you would have, well, with humans. It's ambiguous. There's not much said about it. And then you get into the last book, and then they kind of throw it all out the window for this
They
little
do.
it's like a book of revelations moment. And I'm thinking to myself,
Maybe that's
you
the
had
thing.
it was so close, and you threw it out the window. Honestly,
Yeah,
God.
pretty much.
And
You
also,
know, I have
like I
nothing.
said, if they at least tried to explain how they were able to do that or what came to be, it would be more understandable. But it's like, oh, the randomly somehow found a way. All we know is that they found a way into the mortal realm. It's like, how about you try to explain to us how exactly they found the way into the mortal realm, so we're not
How
all
about
like,
you
what
don't
the whole?
even do that and you remain ambiguous? I don't know.
I think it's
Yeah,
also,
all it was like
Honestly, to me, the only good thing about the 4th series was Hollyleaf. Also, like,
Sorry.
my only gripe with the series is sometimes I feel like the Aarons don't even really get together to discuss the books or what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Because like if you go on their forums and blogs, each Aaron has a different thing what's gonna happen in the end. Like especially with the whole like Crowfeather relationships, like each Aaron has a different opinion on who he's gonna end up with when he goes to StarClan. And I'm just like,
totally.
why
It's
don't you get together,
understandable,
make a
'cause how can you
decision
understand
so
what he's
the
going
fans can
through?
have something that's canon.
I must
Yeah,
admit,
like-
It's understandable. I mean, Crowfeather is, to be honest, a very confusing character. Everything he does, you just don't understand why.
Yeah,
Especially with all
Half
the
the time I
feelings.
love him,
Yeah.
the other half I want to smack him. In
yeah,
the
actually,
face.
I feel like that makes a good character though. Like I don't know. I that's one thing I've always liked Warriors for is their characters aren't necessarily black and white, even if their villains sometimes are.
Or really
You know,
badly
Honestly,
written villains.
I probably loved Crowfeather up till the third series because I felt really bad for Breeze Paul. I wanted
Yeah.
to like
I don't know. I mean, Breeze Paul. I
Okay.
mean, I'll admit. Recently, I've actually come to know a guy who, from what I know, is very like Breeze Paul. Is the kind of
Oh, jeez.
father is slightly kind of sharp, and he has taken on this sharpness, but taken it in a nasty direction. I mean, I ended up my hand in a splint for 2 weeks. That's beside the point. But you know, I kind of see how. You know, you can kind of see why there's very little sympathy for him in the books because that kind of person is very, very difficult to deal with.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right, I just want to bring this back full circle. So we are interviewing AlliKat. So I want to finally, once and for all, settle probably the most common question you get in all of your videos.
Oh, here we go.
What do you animate with?
Oh my God, are you for real?
Is that really the question?
Once and for all, let's get this over with.
Okay, let's do it. Because I've been asked that like every day of my life since like. Okay, so for stuff before Bluestar's Gravity of Love, I used MS Paint usually, or Corel Painter X, and Final Cut Express, which is a really bad program, and I don't advise anyone use it. But for my current stuff, I use a combination of Photoshop CS5, and I actually do the animation frame by frame in Photoshop itself, and then I export them as isolated like MOV files into Final Cut Pro X, and that's what I currently use. So
Nice.
neither of those things are actually animation software, which is why it kind of annoys me when I get asked it a lot, like online, is because I'm not exactly the person to model like animation after. I'm not doing it properly, and like it's just how I learned to do it, and I don't recommend that anyone kind of use the tools that I use because it's learning it the wrong way.
So there you go. Now, hopefully, you won't get asked anymore. You could just be like, go watch
I
this.
highly doubt that. I highly doubt
Watch
that.
that
You
the
know,
day after
how
someone
many-
can
Alli,
ask.
anytime you get asked this question now, you can just refer them to this video.
Yes.
I can,
Do that.
and I will for you guys' sake. Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, just another of the questions you're going to ask. What would you say would be your favorite moment in the Warrior Cat series then?
Oh, okay. Favorite moment. That's a tough one.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's like, how do I even?
That was a bad way of phrasing. I'm sorry.
There's so many. I don't know if I could definitively say that.
Give us the top 5.
Your top 5 then. Any top 5
my
moments in any arc? I guess.
Well, I mean, original arc is kind of my baby. As a kid, my favorite book was Fire and Ice. Don't ask me why. It just was. It was my favorite of all the books. I still like it. I kind of like how they kind of nothing happens in Fire and Ice, but it manages to just tell and then there's the meeting of Silverstream in Fire and Ice.
Yeah,
but
Can I say,
it's before shit goes south. It's like it still has that kind of like
Charm.
sort of innocence that Into the Wild had, like that charm, but it hasn't gone full like drama queen yet, I guess. I just think as a whole, Fire and Ice, I really like it. Unfortunately, I've lost my copy, so I haven't read it in a very long time. So. But
all right,
yes.
I think I can ask the next question right now. This really has to do with your animations. Now, this isn't really in terms of how old they are or how much your style has changed, but out of all of the ones that you've made, that came out really weird. But out of all of the ones that you've made, which one do you consider your best? Like the one that you think was perfect in every way and every aspect?
Oh well, there's none that are perfect in every way and every aspect. I can tell you that. But still. I guess, like, in context, like, of the time that I made it and how I felt about it then, I'd say I was most happy with Bluestar's Prophecy. Probably just, I mean, looking at it now, there's obviously, I would do it completely differently, and it's not really, like, it doesn't really stand the test of time, but I think as a full project, that's probably my best one. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I just, I really liked the book, Bluestar's Prophecy, and I think that's why I animated that right after I finished reading it. Like, the day after I finished reading it, I started. And so it was really fresh in my mind, I guess, and just the emotions of it, and I don't know.
Nice, okay.
It was,
If I
it was
may
lots of
ask
fun.
a quick question, this was like many years ago, I think, because it was when I first started getting to watching Warrior stuff on YouTube. Like, it may have been back 2011, 2012. But I remember with that gray stripe AMV you had a lot of those really horrible comments, people saying you stole it, and it get me really bad. I'm like, nope, if you watch any of her other videos, it's obvious this is her style and her artwork. So I was really freaking confused. Like, do you have any idea how that actually started?
Was it the gray stripe one that people were saying that on?
Yeah.
It was I mean, I often get like criticized of stealing things because they saw it somewhere else first, and they obviously assume the
because people never check the published date anymore.
I know, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how it started. I just know that especially back in like 2010, 2011, a lot of people would just like re-upload my videos as mirrors. I don't really know why, but they did. Actually, I don't have so much of a problem with the gray stripe one as I do with the collaboration I did with the Jinja Ninja OWO.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, so people always come to my unfinished version of it saying, "You stole it! How dare you?" And I try and like talk to them and explain.
That's one thing that gets me mad is no one ever
look
took
at
the
the
published
upload
it. Like
page.
I remember when I started my series, The War is Over, I first started uploading it on another channel, but then I decided to re-upload it on my main channel, which has a lot more subscribers, because I felt like it'd be easier than trying to manage more than one channel. Then a lot of people started to come on to the one on my channel saying like, this person is still up for me. And I'm like, look at the published date. That was my old channel that I just haven't deleted. Yeah, it's the same person.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just funny. I mean, I don't know. I think people are just really quick to type something
no
in
one
and
ever
not think.
seems to apparently read published dates or descriptions anymore, which is
Descriptions.
definitely annoying. Really
Yeah,
bad.
I can say I actually sometimes get sad when animators don't put cool things in the description. I love reading descriptions.
Yeah.
I always put descriptions, and I always put all the information, like what programs I may have used, who the voice actors were, and everything. And then I still get the same questions, like what the music is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna mute my mic really quick, guys, because someone's knocking on my door, so I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know,
In the meantime,
you're not alone.
I wanted to ask you. I remember hearing a couple weeks, I think ago, you were saying your inspiration for a lot of your Warriors videos was actually from Kimba, the White Lion,
Yes.
which was my biggest thing when I was little. Before Warriors, I was into Kimba, and I just wanted to talk about that and how it was really good series. And I was like, I could definitely sometimes see it in some of your animations, and I used to think, wow.
Yeah, Kimba, man, I was hardcore into Kimba, like, for a really long time. About around the same time that I started getting into Warriors, so I guess naturally the two things kind of crossed over. I don't know, Tezuka was my inspiration to start animating in the first place, because I just really liked Kimba. I saw it on Canadian crappy access TV, like, it was the
yes.
I only grew up with 4 TV channels, so I had very few choices on what cartoons I could watch, and Kimba was one of them. So, yeah, no, I to be honest, like my early animations, I actually did like reference hardcore, like from Kimba, and it was such an obscure show that people didn't really like call me out on it, I guess. And I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but looking back, I think that most like fairly successful animators on YouTube did that in their early part of their.
I mean, if you don't reference, how are you going to know what direction to go in, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I totally different reference of you or anything.
It's almost the same thing as when you're trying to first animate like a walk cycle, run cycle. You always reference like pictures of the actual animal to see how they walk and things like that.
That's exactly why I did it. Actually, you know, maybe I'm sure they won't mind me saying this, but I'm not the only one who referenced Kimba excessively, like in the early stages of animation. Blue Kyo Kitty. Because I watched it too, I always noticed, and I never said anything because I didn't know if people already knew that or not. But like, most of her fun cycles are still referenced from Kimba. Actually, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of animators started out with Kimba. I think when you notice them, especially one of the older videos, you can definitely see a lot of Kimba in a lot of them. Which is understandable.
I'm gonna be honest right now. I've literally never seen a Kimba thing. I literally just watched the first episode like a few days ago because I don't know if it wasn't on my channel when I was a kid, but I grew up basically just Hamtaro.
Oh my god.
I didn't have it as a kid.
I grew up with Animal Planet.
Now.
Yeah, no, Animal Planet for me, man.
Another thing I wanted to sort of ask you about, is your voice actors, especially for your Bluestar. I remember when I was kind of watching your videos, I was like 9 or 10 or something, and I would hear your Bluestar voice actor, and since I saw that video, that Bluestar voice actor has stuck with me.
Oh my goodness. That is my mom.
No way.
Yep, that is my mom. She used to do radio and television, like voice acting and stuff, so I just got her for Bluestar because it was the easiest thing and easiest to get, and it worked really well. And it's funny, she actually just loves it. Like whenever people come up to her and like tell her about that, like go to her YouTube channel and tell her how much they like her Bluestar voice, she's just
Your
like
mom
gets such a kick out of it.
YouTube channel?
She does, yeah, actually.
That is pretty freaking awesome.
She doesn't really.
Everyone listening to the podcast, everyone follow her mother now. You're like, yeah.
I might even ask her to audition for a series of mine.
I'm sure she would, actually. Like, she probably would be fine with it. I'm gonna type down in the type down in the box here what her URL is, so you can stick into the video later.
I must actually say, I think Triple of Doom did a similar thing with her Bluestar. She got her mother to do it, and I think it's a very clever idea getting kind of older women, so to say, to do voices like Bluestar, because it just age does give you your voice a certain kind of cadence, and it really helps with
her
Bluestar.
family still ends out well, because in Trouble Doom also used her brother for someone's voice for a while.
Oh, for sure. Everyone did that. Like
absolutely.
in the early days, nobody had voice actors because nobody would lend their voice to this weird like animated cat thing that nobody knows what it is. So everyone used their how it was.
Triple brother did great stuff.
I just live with my dad, who can't even text, so he's out. And my little 12-year-old sister, who I can't be in the same room with more than 10 minutes before I want to punch her in the face.
Well, that's not a good
siblings.
choice.
Well, no,
I do not have any of those. I have no siblings. I have
I'll admit, while we're recording, I'm drawing a really nervous Ravenpaw. Because I remember you did an unfinished AMV, I believe, of Ravenpaw, and that was probably one of my favorite things you'd done, because Ravenpaw is he's just such a precious baby.
Actually, what's actually really funny about that video is after you put it up, I saw so many people doing edited versions trying to finish it up, and I'm just like,
I know.
Amazing.
I know.
I
gave them permission, most of them. Like most of them came up to me and were like, "Can I finish this?" But the funny part was when they would finish it, and all that they do is like loop the animation that I had already done. I assume they would be making their own, but no.
You just see Ravenpaw doing that little jump run over and over and over again.
That little jump run,
I think you severely underestimated the early Warrior Cats fandom. I'm sorry. I think we all, I'll admit, the fandom in the last year, it has exploded.
I know.
Yeah, something happened.
What happened?
Speaking of that, as my next question, Alli, how do you feel about how most of the fandom is now? Like, and I'm not talking about like the fandom that actually still animates, like, the fandom I'm talking about, the bad part of the fandom where all they do is complain and fight over like the minor and things and warriors and
oh god,
like the mostly the younger fans who are still probably between the ages of like 9 and 12, and honestly probably shouldn't even really be on YouTube, or at least shouldn't have an account.
I very much, if you're under the age of like 13, I don't know. I mean, like,
don't go on.
The fact that your voice is as loud as everyone else's voice is just like, I don't know, it ends badly for a lot of kids, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think as a whole, the fandom's a lot better than it used to be. Like, I'm just gonna say that straight up. It's just
worse.
It's a lot less shitty now. Like,
are you serious? Was it actually worse? I mean, I remember that
it was worse.
I do recall an animator getting bullied off YouTube because she drew Scourge's color as yellow. Was that why?
That stuff happened all the time. Like, you guys would not believe the stuff that I put up with. Like, around like 2008 to 2011, I'd say was the worst of it. I just like I got like actual death threats like frequently. I got people like making imposter accounts of me like monthly and trying to like make my image really bad in the eyes of other people, like going around and like insulting everyone else's animations using my face. And, like,
I'm not much of an animator because I kind of suck at it, but I do make a lot of warrior rants analysis videos, and I get so much hate. Like, I even once made a video of like the top 10 couples I didn't like, and I literally got a bunch of death threats, especially from my Ashfur rant, because I had so many people, like, just because I had a different opinion for them. Like, I respect all opinions. If you like a cat I don't like, I'm totally fine with it. I feel like you can definitely insult the cat someone likes, but I hate it when you insult the person for their opinion.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I got so many people cussing me out and giving me death threats for not liking Ashfur.
Yeah, opinions and Warrior Cats fans, younger Warrior Cats fans, don't really go together.
They don't have opinions. Like, I had one person who literally told me that I could go die in a hole for not liking Ashfur. Like, one person I think, if I recall, said, "Fuck you, bitch," and go die, like, go burn in hell for not liking Ashfur. He's awesome.
Wow.
I'm like,
okay.
Wait, though. Speaking of Ashfur, I think this is the big question that we have to ask you, that the whole fandom is probably going crazy about. Yeah. What do you think of Ashfur in terms of his, heartbroken drama llama stuff with Squirrel Fight?
To be honest, as I said before, I only know what I've read from the wiki and what I've seen in other people's portrayals of it. So I don't know how much I can accurately say, but from what I've seen, he seems like an asshat, like, massively.
I think, that's more
you hit the nail on the head there, friend.
Yeah, just doesn't seem like. And then he got into StarClan anyway. Like what?
And
That's
like, what's more
honestly-
amazing is Yellowfang defending him of all people. It's like
Why?
his only fault was that he loved too much.
Honestly, the best part of that was just having Jay Feather going like, "What the hell?" Just like, what?
He tried
And,
to
like,
kill
it was-
me.
He tried to kill me.
It was
I'm
kind of
pretty
a
sure
good
that-
reflection.
Yeah.
It was a good reflection showing kids kind of like even people of importance can be wrong. And I think that was the lesson that they were trying. Well, that's what I took from it. And he was like, oh, this powerful StarClan cat was wrong about Ashfur. Like, there's no way he could have loved too much. Like, Maple Shade loved too much.
I don't think
Ashfur
Maple
loved too
Shade
much.
loved too much. I think Maple Shade. I want to know how Maple Shade got into the Dark Forest because she seemed to have a bit of a.
I'm pretty sure she's getting a storybook though, so we should.
Yeah, she is.
know soon.
But it's like, I mean, I'm sure it's obvious. She's got a bit of a parallel to Bluestar, to be honest. I think she's the evil parallel of Bluestar. Because when
Yeah.
you think about it, mate in another clan, kits, dead kits. You know, her story parallels Oakheart's and Bluestar's very nicely, I think.
So just to do a quick look, I noticed something you wrote on the podcast. Was that you, Alli?
Which? For
For the last the last bit.
Oh yeah, that was.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was you. I don't want to.
Yes, that
so
was me.
you want to tell us a bit about that?
Sure. Sorry for the shameless plug, but I just thought, I'm here. Might as well talk about what's coming up. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a project planned. It's gonna be like 8 or so minutes. I was really inspired by Nifty Apple Star's latest animation, Dark Path Chosen. I just thought people don't do fully voiced, like self-contained Warrior Cats projects very often anymore, just because it's so much harder to make than like a map or a AMV or something. But I figured since I have a couple of free months here, I might as well devote my time to making the last chapter of Midnight. I decided to do where the traveling cats meet Midnight, and I've got all my voice actors cast. I'm pretty happy with them, to be honest. Like, I was so surprised at the response I got. I just Midnight's voice actress is just my headcanon. It's for real. Like,
Isn't that the very smooth Russian voice?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. Sorry.
And anyway, yeah, so I've gotten a couple really good background artists to work with me on this project to make it go faster. I've got the amazing Hulu Mel, if you guys know Hulu Mel.
Oh, I know.
I
They're
do, actually.
They're actually joined a part of my map, and I thought it was weird she could join one of my maps. I'm the only fangirl and died, and she joined one of my maps. It's amazing
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. I was so thrilled they just volunteered to help me, and I will take any help I can get on this project. Let me tell you, because it's going to be hard work. I haven't done lip sync for 4 years, so the majority of this is talking. So it's going to be a nice warm up. But yeah, keep your eyes open for that. It should be out before September.
I cannot wait until most of the Warriors fandom can drink. The amount of drinking games that will come out of that is going to be
We were
crazy.
discussing this before we started recording.
Warrior Cats
yeah.
drinking game.
Or how about
Yeah.
like you go through reading the books, and every time there's a mistake, you take
Or
a drink.
or Fireheart feels a pang of emotion because that's a super common word.
Or she
How
had
about,
a
like-
sweet.
Yes.
How about every time it says blank mewed or she mewed or she purred?
Oh,
no,
God.
That
Can I
is
just say,
gone.
one thing that makes me
Or
sad is the lack of like phonetically spelled cat noises, because there's quite a few of those in the first book, and then they just drop. Because like, have you ever seen someone trying to write? That is difficult.
No kidding.
And it's
So I just want to do a quick game. This is the game. So these are the rules. I have a Warriors book here. No one knows what it is, but it is from the first series. I'm going to open up to a random paragraph, and I'm going to read like a sentence, and you guys need to try and guess who said it and what book it's from.
And we just scramble, like we're just like, blah, like say the name as fast as we can.
Yeah, we'll go in order. Okay,
you know,
ready?
cool.
Okay.
Okay, so open it up. Okay. So I'll let you know right away. It is on a random page. The random page is 178.
Okay.
So it says, I'm just trying to find, okay, there's. But we must find out, blank exclaimed, his mind whirling. Perhaps they mean the dog. but a dog wouldn't do damage on that scale. What about pack? Maybe, yes. Maybe they're talking about ShadowClan.
No,
It is the.
Oh, it's a dangerous path.
It's dangerous.
Right?
That's the
I
name
know
of
it's a
the
dangerous
book
path.
5, and it's Fireheart.
And it's Fireheart, right?
Yeah!
Talking about what all the damage done by the dead apprentices.
As soon as I started reading that, I was like, oh, it says right there, dogs. I was like, oh, that probably gives it away.
Yeah,
Damn it.
a little bit. Yeah.
Just a teensy tiny bit.
Hopefully next time I'll get a more better book.
Yeah. Gotta ask.
A more better book. Oh, boy.
Does anybody know what color Ravenpaw's eyes are?
I think they're.
I'm pretty sure they're amber.
Amber.
That's something wrong.
I honestly, I like
guess
drawing
the
them
book,
in
but I
purple
can't
because I think
find
it looks.
Okay,
cool,
good.
but
I needed
I
someone to
can't.
back up my decision to give him purple eyes. He's so cute.
I think that was SSS, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ever since I saw SSS, I've always drawn Ravenpaw with purple eyes now, even though I get a lot of crap for it. I'm like, I don't care. I think it looks cute.
Yeah,
It does look
it's a headcanon that becomes canon throughout the fandom kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I usually
So
hate
I-
those things so
Kind of
much.
like Destiel and Supernatural. It's
Say what
totally
you
different.
want about
And-
SSS character designs, but I mean they definitely have the most like diverse and interesting looking character
Oh, yeah, I
designs.
do.
Yeah, I
Tiger Star?
think their Tiger
I love
Star
him.
Their Tiger Star is a bit too Hulk Frosty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
so
but
fluffy.
also-
he is.
He's a bit more Maine Coon. Because I think, did you make a post about him being kind of like a Felis Sylvestris?
I did, yeah, actually.
Yeah,
Good memory.
Yeah. I
I'd say if there's any design that I don't not fond of warrior cats in SSS, which I usually love, it's probably just Spottedleaf because I don't know. I'm kind of like I like
Yeah.
to be more in the books and and I can't be mad at them because almost everyone draws her that way. Is like a calico. But it gets me mad because she's a tortoiseshell. I own tortoiseshell cats, and there's a huge difference between calico and tortoiseshell.
Tortoiseshell's
It is.
black, isn't it? Because she's
Tortoiseshells
described
are, yeah.
she's described
Especially
as
since
having
she's
a
a
black
dark
tail.
tortoiseshell who's like probably so like I have a dark tortoiseshell, so she'd be mostly like black and dark browns and dark oranges. And then most people draw her almost completely by little splashes of orange and brown. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything because almost everyone does it like this. I'm just gonna sit back, take a deep breath, and continue scrolling through DeviantArt.
Guilty as charged. Gotta say.
Actually, why do you think SSS has so much? Let's see. I can't find the word, but is it mainly because they work in a team that they get things really done really
Guys,
well?
we've
Oh my
lost
god,
Alli.
I
We've
totally
lost
messed
Alli.
up.
I think so.
We lost
Yikes.
AlliKatN.
You lost me. Oh no.
No, you're
Um,
back. Okay, good. We found Alli.
This is probably a good time we can take a quick break.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
sounds good.
Okay, I'm
We're
recording.
We're
So
at 45.
I've got to go, unfortunately, but
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Well, it has
I'll
been
let you guys do the.
It's
Yeah.
been an absolute pleasure having you
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
it's been an
Yeah,
honor.
thank you
You know,
so much.
we would even have you back.
Well,
Yeah, we
great,
would
thank
love
you.
to have you
Maybe
back.
Maybe I'll come back. Yeah, have a good rest of the podcast, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
you.
so much.
So today we decided we were going to start off with Into the Wild. So who wants to kind of start off the discussion?
Well, if I may, because I literally picked up Into the Wild this morning and started filling it with post-it notes.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I guess it actually wasn't the book I started with. I actually started with book 1 of the site. I actually started with the site. But I must say, the one thing that I always loved about this book was the prologue. You know, just the start, because it starts off by throwing you into the middle of this battle.
It's also where I developed my unhealthy obsession with mouse fur.
Yeah, she's like the because I mean it's also probably one of the best known bits of Warrior Cats animation, which would be episode 1 of SSS Warrior Cats. Does the
Yes.
prologue beautifully, if I may say. Because I was actually looking at it and they actually get it almost down pat accuracy wise.
Yeah, they nearly get it down. But I think the prologue is probably one of the best in the entire series, at least in my
Yeah.
opinion. It
'Cause-
really does
yeah.
set up the world, the characters, what they're going through, how they fight. And I think it's a really good one.
It just brings you into, and it is this down and dirty world where if you are not prepared to rip someone's throat out, you
Oh, yeah.
mightn't be around tomorrow.
See, and,
Yeah.
and it's really clever. It drags you in geniusly. It doesn't start off with like a
Yeah.
conversation. It starts off with this huge battle.
Yeah, because it kind of
Very
goes.
genius.
Yeah, it goes from the battle of Sunning Rocks between ThunderClan and RiverClan. Then it cuts to the other side of the series, the more spiritual side, because Warrior Cats is basically fighting, but also StarClan. And then it goes to Bluestar receiving the prophecy from Spottedleaf. And then suddenly, Rusty.
Yeah. The fighting series, the fighting was a really good way to kind of, like, the dialogue, it was really good to kind of show that there was a whole world going on beneath the story that you were following. Like, there are cats or characters fighting in, like, different parts at all times. And it created kind of, for me, when I was reading it, little, like, 6-year-old, 7-year-old me, when I was reading it, it became too vast for me. So that when I was reading the first few chapters, I was trying to figure out in the clan, like, I still think this, are there characters that are just so unimportant that they're just not even mentioned, but they're around? Like, is there a character in ThunderClan who's there, but, like, isn't a warrior, and we just don't talk about?
Actually, one thing which I must bring up, which is I noticed that later in the book when ShadowClan attacks ThunderClan, the first time they attack ThunderClan before the point at which Spottedleaf is killed, it is mentioned that a ShadowClan cat kills an elder. And I could not find out which elder died.
Oh, it was Rosetail.
Oh yeah, it was Rosetail.
Damn it.
Rosetail died.
Okay, I was having serious trouble finding it. Another quite a nice thing is that it starts off here with you can see Tiger Claw's kind of thirst for battle, because Redtail has called the retreat, and then it says, Tiger Claw followed last. He hesitated at the edge of the forest and glanced back at the blood-stained battlefield. His face was grim, his eyes furious slits. Then he leaped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then he leaped.
To be honest, at that point, I didn't really see it as like bloodlust. I saw more like a lot of fierce determination instead. I honestly didn't expect him to be a villain, and then they so obviously made him a villain.
Yeah. Okay, if we're gonna go into this more, talking about back to Redtail. Another thing about the Into the Wild, like, it's established pretty fast that killing another cat is against the warrior code, and yet no one seems to, like, really question why that ShadowClan cat killed the elder, or why Oakheart originally killed Redtail and Tiger Claw killing him, even if it was just for back revenge. No one seemed to really question or go into that, I think
that could be because
I think there was such a fierce rivalry at the time, though, between the ShadowClan and ThunderClan and RiverClan. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out which of my notes, because I have I actually marked every single one of Fireheart, Firepaw, and Spottedleaf's interactions in the book as well.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, you were mentioning that earlier. You wanted to go into that.
I believe Ravenheart as well is a particular bugbear of hers. There are 10. There are 10 interactions, up to and including looking at her, listening to her, and talking to her, and there's a couple of affectionate nudges. I think I've actually written on some of these, so I think towards the end of this, my stuff kind of I've got to go.
Okay. Well, you can explain really quick those interactions. I have to go really quick as I take my food out of the oven. I'll be back in about
I will be
5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I will be giving the outline.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of starts off with Greypaw kind of going, I think he was heading towards Spottedleaf's den. She's our medicine cat. Not bad looking either. Younger and prettier than most. Which then probably leads to one of my favourite quotes from Greystripe, which is, "Now Darkstripe is neither young nor pretty." Which is loved. I don't know why. I just have this irrational love for Greystripe and just the stupid stuff he comes out with.
I never understood the whole, like, shipping between Firepaw and Greypaw, because Greypaw is the kind of character who you want as your best friend. He is friendly, he's welcoming. Yeah, it's definitely a bromance.
It is just the purest form of bromance. I'll admit, I've seen some pretty cute, like, shipping stuff, but I don't really have any ships that make me feel things. Cold dead inside. Broken heart as well as broken wings.
What I found honestly incredible about Into the Wild was the fact that you saw so many characters who you immediately disliked, but the Aarons never really put it forward that they would be a villain. I'm really talking about what is his face? Longtail, Darkstripe, and Tiger Claw at that point. Yeah, you know that they're more determined and a bit harsher, but at that point you don't really see them as evil, and at some point you even hope that they're not going to be.
What's really interesting.
It is kind of sad that when you get to the Forest of Secrets, everything starts to kind of go downhill.
Yeah. Can I just say that with Longtail, what I always thought quite interesting is that if you compare him to Darkstripe just seems to be just a bit bad-tempered. He's like the guy who's always got a tick in that really awkward place,
Spiteful, that's the thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, whereas Longtail is much more kind of out there and aggressive, but later on in the series, Darkstripe is the one who proves to be much eviler, really. I mean, he tried poisoning a kitten, for goodness sake. Whereas Longtail kind of found out what Tigerclaw was doing and was just utterly horrified.
Yeah.
So I guess that says a lot, doesn't it? I'm just looking at this,
It was very clever. I really liked what they did with Longtail, especially how they make him start out to be this arrogant guy. I really loved that. I thought it was great, honestly.
One of the most sensible scenes for me in the first series is when Longtail is trying to tell I think he was Firestar then. He's trying to tell him, like, something bad is going to happen. You need to believe me. And Fireheart's like, why would I believe you? You attacked me. And I think that caused a lot of frustration.
Path.
Yeah, lots of frustration for people. But it showed that Fireheart isn't an idiot. And he's like, why would I believe you? You were Tigerstar's friend.
He's not that much of a pushover. He knows he has his limits, so it would be understandable why he doubts him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I think it's after noticing Spottedleaf a full 3 times, Firepaw shyly mews a greeting, and then they kind of.
Actually, I think that's really cute. The fact that.
I mean, it's actually. I think
he has such a big crush on this one.
Yeah, it's really cute because it also, as she goes into her den, it mentions him straining his eyes, just trying to catch another little glimpse of her, and then he kind of mumbles through his mouth full of herbs, and then
you know what it kind of reminds me of. Yeah. I don't know. When I was younger, there was this kid who was being babysit by this older woman, and he was totally infatuated with her, so he would always run up to her and hug her and be like, oh, you're my favorite. So when I read this scene in the book, I just started cracking up, and that's how I always see it, that he was this little kid looking at this huge babysitter and saying, oh my god, she is perfect. That's what I feel.
Really
I'm actually going to look
like
up what Spottedleaf's age was, because I think you may have something going there, so I'm sorry if there's clicking noises. I'll try and be quiet.
A lot of the as far as oh, sorry, I don't know where I was going with the thought. Just escaped me. Oh, right. It was cute and all, but it feels like Fireheart kind of glorified it a bit more in life, like when Spottedleaf was around.
Spottedleaf
was glorified it.
Spottedleaf was 4 when she died.
Yeah, but it feels like, he was a kid and he thought she was perfect.
Yeah.
And he never really got a chance to.
Yeah. But it's
because I feel like for me, from the way I read it, I feel like since, like I said, there wasn't any interactions without her, and even most of them were him just watching her, I feel like he more loved the idea of her than her herself.
That happens a lot in real life, though, if you look at it. There's actually there is one thing though, which is just before they go off to the Moonstone for the first time, as Firepaw is picking up his traveling herbs, she just kind of leans over and just kind of rubs his cheek with her nose. And that's just kind of cute.
Yeah, I always saw it as this little kid who was just so in love with this older person and just glorifying her to means end. I thought it was very sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like it's more of a mother-son thing. It reminded me of ironically, it's like one of those kid shows where there's a small character it's nothing really like that kind of relation, but Jimmy Neutron, where his best friend had a crush on his mom.
Yeah, I understand it because there's also the fact. They seem to it's not even so romantic as they just find real kind of comfort in each other. Also, I've literally just tagged this little piece as cuddles. When Lionheart dies, okay, Spottedleaf is exhausted from tending to all of the other cats, and she just kind of presses up against Fireheart. And I think that's a bit like this just poor, tired person who's just been through so much, just kind of falling into your arms for a hug. What I thought was quite funny was the when she kind of suddenly hisses at Firepaw and kind of tells him, StarClan spoke to me many moons ago before you joined the clan. I sense they want me to tell you this now. They said only fire can save our clan. And Firepaw just kind of looks at her kind of like, what? And then it's just the strange passion faded from her eyes.
That was actually really funny.
It was just the strange passion faded from her eyes, and I'm kind of going, that is a very strange choice of words.
Yeah,
and then her next appearance, she's dead. Also, funny thing, people always write her with her throat slashed open. She was actually bitten in the back of the neck.
Yeah.
She has just got a
yeah, because that was the whole point, because it was a sneak attack where someone jumped from behind her before she
it is a single a single wound on the back of Spottedleaf's neck, and whereas people always show her kind of facing off against Clawface, so I've always found that quite funny. Funny, not funny.
I mean, you gotta have some artistic
There
liberties.
actually was,
That's
because
what
I know
happened.
no one even realized what was happening until they realized the kids were missing, really, right?
Yeah, it was basically...
Yeah.
It's like,
It was
where was
basically-
Spottedleaf then?
I think she was in the medicine den. Sorry, let me see.
Because I'm just still trying to figure out, like, I haven't read the first book in a while, but did ShadowClan attack and then steal the kids, or did the kids go missing and they sent a patrol after them?
There was a, ShadowClan had just attacked, they'd killed Lionheart. I think it was almost like a really clever kind of two-part attack, as in, like, the first wave of attack goes in and stirs up trouble, while 2 or 3 more warriors go around, kill the medicine cat, and steal the babies. Because they're kind of talking about what to do in case ShadowClan ever attacks again, and then suddenly Frostfur sprints into the clearing and goes, "My kids! Someone has stolen my kids!" And everyone goes, "Oh my!"
I think you nearly got it, but I think that's also when when Yellowfang disappears.
Yeah,
Because
I was about to.
that's
And
the
then
issue.
everyone goes, "It must be Yellowfang."
Because Yellowfang, I guess, knows Brokenstar enough by now to know his strategic type of planning, so she goes ahead and tries to go after the kids, because she knows the clan will probably blame her, so she wants to go get the kids before any cat can jump.
Whereas if she'd stayed for like 5 more minutes.
Yeah, because, truthfully, like, the way I see it, if she stayed, she would have had to waste time explaining what the situation was, and that would have risked the lives of the kids more, so she bolted as soon as she could, because she knew the kids' lives were the most important thing at the time, which I really respect her for, because most people would have tried to sit there and explain so they could get more help, but she knew that would take too long, so she went, even though it would make her look really guilty, to save the kids, which I find very just...
Yeah. Another interesting, actually, is the amount of references that ended up getting put into Yellowfang's secret. So I shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting.
Because there is just sorry God, why did I think putting 42 notes in here?
One thing I just want to touch on quickly is Redtail and Spottedleaf. Are they? It's more me mistaking. They were brother and sister, correct?
Yeah, they were litter mates.
Yeah.
And then Redtail Sandpaw was Redtail's daughter.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive considering he should be sterile.
Yeah. But this is actually quite curious because
in tortoiseshell males, they are really rare, but they can still have kids. It's the calico males that are sterile.
Okay. I always thought Redtail was calico, to be honest.
No, he was.
That's the thing. Everyone gets tortoiseshell, calico.
He's actually tortoiseshell. A lot of people do draw him as calico, like they do with Spottedleaf, but he is actually tortoiseshell.
Seeing if I can get enough of a description.
Which is it's kind of curious because if you do
with a distinctive bushy tail as red as fox fur and feathered ears. I love these descriptions with all my heart.
Yeah. So with Redtail, I'm guessing he's just a tortoiseshell Tom with a dark ginger red tail.
Yeah, it's just he's a small dark tortoiseshell.
Let's talk about Bluestar because I don't like her.
Oh really?
It's okay.
I don't like her.
I actually want to hear this. Why is that?
Yeah. I probably liked her up until the 3rd book.
Yeah, come on, let's hear why Bluestar is not.
Yeah, why don't you like her?
Well, right away, like, I don't know, she seemed too... well, the impression I got from her was that she was full of herself. She had every right to be. But, like, eventually later on, she became more, like, naming Brightheart Lostface. That was unforgivable for me.
I think she was getting into the early stages of dementia at that stage, if I may say.
That's true, but at the same time, I didn't...
Well, maybe not dementia, I could have just put my foot in it there. But, she was losing the run of everything at that point.
Yeah.
I also like how she immediately saw Rusty and was like, "This is probably the cat. I'm going to name him Firepaw." And like, what if she was wrong? What if a queen had a kid?
But we're also at the first part of the book. I mean, we're also at the first arc of the book where apparently all those cats in the sky couldn't have gotten it wrong. That comes in like more later on. I think the Aarons really want us to suspend our disbelief at that point.
Yeah. What's really interesting though is when she first sees Rusty, okay, the first thing she says to Firepaw is, or as Rusty at the time, "You fight well for a 2-leg pet." And Poe says she was watching both of them. Okay? And I mean she basically sees him and kinda goes, "He's Ginger. Prophecy. I
also like how she was saying that she was watching him, because I get like that
even
feels like
before,
something
even before
someone
the
would
fight,
say.
like, Dad, you know.
Like, oh, I was totally watching you. Like, I totally knew this was gonna happen, and that's another reason why I didn't like her. I was like, you just straight out of the gate assume that,
My
like,
opinion
oh,
is,
I
like-
was watching him.
Like, I like her and don't like her the same way because as a character, she is a good character. But I feel like I don't like the way the Aaron's actually used her because they purposely seem to put her on this really high, perfect pedestal in the beginning because they knew what was going to happen, so she would have
Yeah.
so far fall.
They
Like,
basically put her
it's a
on
good
a
idea,
pillar to break
it didn't bring out the best of her character just to put her on this really high pedestal that makes her seem kind of like Mary soon a little bit stuck up and then make her just fall down, go completely insane, and hit the bottom of the barrel. Like I can see where they were going. I just think they went too far with it.
I don't know. I just really love her. I think she brings up a really good opening for not only the main character but for the readers. She's the one who really brings everyone into the world. I guess it is a point that maybe the Aarons took her story and kind of made it in a way that was hard to swallow.
Yeah.
But I do love what they did with her.
No, I
was-
adore Bluestar. I do absolutely love her.
I will admit, she was great at introducing. She's a very motherly character, and she kind of, in a way, she was distant, but at the same time, she was kind of a mother figure in the series, and it was kind of a character that you had to, like, I think that was part of the reason why I don't like her, is because you had to love her, because she was a mother figure, and it's really when she went into StarClan, they shattered that image.